You can't read because your brain doesn't realize how valuable books really are. Why read a book when you have access to an infinite source of serotonin that is algorithmically optimized to show you exactly what you want? Your brain gets so much more stimulus and so much more emotional fluctuation from an iPhone than it gets from a book. Reading is a slow burn that can take days, weeks, and even months to complete. Put a book next to an iPhone and you can just feel that your brain is pulled towards the iPhone and doesn't give a second thought to actually reading the book. And don't get me wrong, the phone technology in general is great. There's a lot of good that comes from it. But at some point you need to ask yourself, am I addicted to this? And don't worry, because if the answer to that question is yes, there is a way to fix that, and reading is a great alternative to doom scrolling. Because reading the right book can change your life. A great book can change your perspective of the world. It can change your political ideology. It can change your religion if you're religious at all. It can change the way you look at money and finances, history, philosophy, reality. There's so many things a great book can offer you. There's also a danger when it comes to reading books, but we'll talk about that later. Reading a book is a one-on-one with somebody who was a genius maybe 1,000 years ago, someone who did something incredible, someone who has something valuable to share to you, some kind of insight or some kind of procedure that can make you more money, make you more aware of your surroundings, make you healthier, make you stronger. Think of it like this. In our day-to-day lives, it is extremely rare that we get to associate with or have a conversation with somebody who's incredibly successful or has done something great or has these incredible insights that are perfectly tailored to something you're looking for. Reading is like eating a fully organic, whole food diet. It's not super satisfying in the moment, but long term, you're going to be healthier, you're going to be stronger, and you're going to live longer. The benefits of eating a healthy diet, even though it doesn't give you that reward that processed food does, far outweighs that short-term stimulus you get from eating junk food. When do you ever get done with scrolling through your phone for 3 or 4 hours and think, wow, I'm really glad I did that? On the other hand, when you finish a really great book or just a practical book about a problem you're having or something you're interested in, the reward is much, much greater. And there are a ton of scientific studies that validate this exact thing. So how do you actually do it? How do you sit down and actually read? Let's get into it. There are so many tips and tricks out there like, oh, just read for 5 minutes a day, or just put your phone down and pick up that book and start reading. It just doesn't work for most people. What you really have to do is convince your mind that the book is more valuable than spending time on your phone or in front of a TV. And it's not going to be easy. You have to break that addictive pattern of instant serotonin release that you get from technology. When your brain is trained to receive stimulus in a certain way, it's really hard to get it onto another track. But you can do it, and it's worth the rewards of picking up a new hobby. Maybe it isn't even reading, maybe it's something else, but it's worth getting your brain off of that track of needing to depend on technology for enjoyment. There is no simple trick to it. We are addicts and we have to treat the problem like an addiction. Swapping out technology with reading is just one way to help us get past that addiction to technology and do something that's far more rewarding. Step one to getting into reading is realizing that we are competing with so many other more vibrant serotonin releasing activities that come primarily from technology. So it's easier said than done, but really before we can even begin, we have to get used to putting down the phone and turning off the TV. The second step of this process is really convincing yourself that reading is a valuable thing to do. Because if you don't really believe that reading is good, you're never going to pick up a book. And how we do that is by getting over some of the negative stereotypes there are about reading. For as many positive stereotypes there are, the negative ones are that it's boring. You're just looking at words on paper. You're just sitting there. It's a bland, boring experience. And yes, those things are true, But like we discussed before, the long-term reward for putting in that work, it far outweighs time spent in front of the TV. So let's try to look at books a little differently so we can get past that subconscious bias that we have against actually sitting down and reading. A book is just a series of ideas. Usually it's in support of one major idea or one major concept that the author is trying to communicate. And when you're reading a great book, you're reading a collection of thoughts and ideas that are super high quality. It's almost like having a luxury experience, but the luxury here are ideas, high quality, well-crafted thoughts and ideas that can truly change your life for the better. Plus, there are a lot of benefits for your brain, for your eyes, for your imagination, for your vocabulary that all get better and better the more you read. A recent study came out that Ivy League students aren't even reading full books anymore. So by you reading, you can actually get an advantage over some of the smartest people in the world right now. But that doesn't mean you need to read everything. And that leads us to step 3. Let's compare reading to going to the gym. People go to the gym to stay in physical shape, to be healthy, and generally to look better. But you don't necessarily have to go to a traditional gym in order to accomplish this. You can run, you can swim, you can do Pilates, you can do yoga, you can do martial arts, you can join a local sports team. There are so many options to achieving those goals that don't involve a traditional gym. And this same concept applies to reading. We want to read because we want to challenge our mind, extend our attention span, and just learn new things. And you can do that by reading just about anything. Are you into nonfiction? Do you like history, philosophy, economics, law? Do you like fiction? Are you a Harry Potter person? Do you like Game of Thrones or maybe classic literature? When it comes to reading, there's no judgment. Anytime you're exercising your mind and getting away from addictive technologies, you are doing something healthy for yourself. The point here is, if you really want to pick up a reading habit, you have to find something that's genuinely interesting to you. Maybe you don't want to go to a traditional gym. Maybe you love to swim. It's the same idea. Go to a bookstore and just walk around, go through the different sections, see what books are calling to you, see what interests you, and don't be afraid to grab something that you have a genuine interest in. When you find something you actually want to read, you don't have to do all these weird tips and tricks that will help you read. If you do 5 minutes a day and perfectly set up your environment and all this kind of stuff, you won't need any of that. It's just like when you pick up your phone to get onto social media or sit down in front of the TV or pick up your gaming controller. You don't care about the environment. You don't care if everything is perfect and the climate is right and you're totally snuggled up. You just want to get that serotonin, and you could achieve that with reading as well. And we're coming towards the end of the video, and I just wanted to put out a little disclaimer. There are some books that are genuinely dangerous to read. Just like I was saying that some books can fundamentally change your perspective of the world, sometimes it can change it for the worse. Something can trigger you into wanting to change careers or change your relationships or change where you live in the world. Some books may take away your faith or give you faith in something else, something potentially nefarious. Books are written by people, and not all people have good intentions. So when you read, you still have to be on guard. Not all books are created equal. So if you have a great book in front of you that you know you want to read and you just can't pick it up, it's probably because you're putting all your energy into your technology-based habits. Maybe you really want to read, but you have no idea where to start, so you never do. That probably means you're just not looking hard enough. Talk to people with similar interests, see what they've read, see what inspired them in their life. There truly is a book out there for everybody. The main message I want to leave with you here is that reading a book is factually better than just scrolling through the internet or sitting in front of the TV. If we can really accept that and really internalize it, then reading becomes much more desirable for the mind. And when you achieve this, you open up a world of some of the most finest experiences humanity has to offer. You don't have to get on a plane or spend thousands of dollars. All you have to do is invest some time and effort, and you can experience something truly special. So put down the phone, calm your mind down, and get to reading.